Welcome to Audiobook da Morgan. Today's reading is Utz, Chapter 20 by Bruce Chatwin. But before we start, please subscribe on my channel and press the button to activate notifications.
At Vichy, the hotel had been redecorated, as if to wipe away the stain of having harboured the Laval administration in its rooms. Utz's own room was furnished with reproduction Louis XVI furniture painted grey. The carpet was blue, and the walls were baby blue with white trim, the decor of the nursery of the Fresh Start. On a commode stood a chipped plaster bust of Marie Antoinette, and there were modern engravings of other bird-brained 18th century ladies. No, Utz repeated, I am certainly not enjoying this. The French have lost their taste. Nor did he enjoy his meeting with Dr. Forster, a man with papery skin and a mouth full of snobbish indiscretions, who had his consulting room in a Gothic house shrouded by purlines. Nor the immense cream stucco buildings, Star Pâtissière 1900, stretched out along the boulevard des États Unis, where the Gestapo had its headquarters. Nor the mud baths, the frictions, the facials, the precious showers. Nor, judging from the drawn, dyspeptic faces of other sufferers, were these celebrated waters in the least beneficial to the health. He could take no pleasure from the company of the small, aged people, ex-colons, whose digestion had been wrecked in Africa or Indochina, clinging to their raffia-covered goblets de cure, and taking slow, careful steps out of the rain under the covered walkway that runs beside the Rue des Parcs. He did not appreciate the genotropial glint of the monsieur, a very disturbed young man, and hoped that perhaps he was too young. Nor did he care for the ladies of the Grand Establishment Thermal, disciplinary ladies in white coats and gloves who introduced him to the use of les instruments de torture, remedial machines that Kafka would have appreciated, so that he found himself being strapped to a saddle and pummeled gently but firmly in the intestines with a pair of boxing gloves. He winced at the sound of English voices. He averted his eyes for the mutiles de guerre, men missing an arm or both legs but playing poker nonetheless, on painted white chairs with perforated seats like colanders. One evening after dinner he had to flee from a lady in tomelina velvet who spoke in German of the Aga Khan. He became abnormally sensitive to people's stares, especially those of solitary men who, he imagined, were tailing him. Who, for example, was that youth in the ill-fitting suit? Hadn't he seen him in Prague, hanging around the foyer at the Hotel Hakron? No, he had not. The youth was a salesman of sanitary equipment. Utz pottered around the antique shops and found nothing of interest. A few soapstone Buddhas and dubious empire clocks. A woman tried to sell him Egyptian amulets and a pack of tarot cards. At a shop that sold lace, he thought of buying a pinafore to take home to Marta. But I won't be going home, he reflected dismally. And anyway, they'd steal it at the customs. He went to the races and was bored. He was bored at the concert where they played the Suite from Finlandia. He was desperately bored by the spectacle at the Grand Theatre du Casino, which began with Les plus belles girls de Paris, all of them English, and continued with Les hommes en cristal, who were a bunch of fairies smeared with silver paint. In the interval, he reflected on the absurdity of his position. Here he was, another middle-aged, Middle European refugee adrift in an unfriendly world. And worse, the most useless of refugees, an aesthetic. After the interview, he had a change of mood. The curtain rose on Lucienne Boyer, La Dame en Bleu, a compact and rounded woman approaching 50, yet apparently ageless, and wearing a dress of blue dark satin, and a blue rose at the apex of her décolleté. She sang number after number at the microphone. Utz's pupils dilated as he gazed through opera glasses at her quivering throat. And when she sang Parlez-moi d'amour, he got to his feet and shouted, "Bravo, bravo, encore!" And she gave an encore, 4 of them. And afterwards, after he had watched her leave the theatre with a younger man, he walked home to the Pavilion Savillon, over cobbled streets, slippery with leaves after a hailstorm, his bald head gleaming in the lamplight, swaying slightly in humming the refrain, Je vous aime, je vous aime.